I'm Dr. CHERYL Fraser, and it's not my fault, and why are you picking on me anyway? Hi, welcome to this month's video and article for you on the all-important topic of defensiveness. I said defensiveness. Why weren't you listening to me? Defensiveness. As you know, this is one of the key teachings of the Gottman method, part of what's called, in John Gottman terms, the four horsepersons of the apocalypse. In simple terms, these four ugly fighting behaviors predict divorce, breakup, misery, death, and despair with a very high likelihood. So, of course, all of us need to do a self-analysis, a self-test, and say, where do we fall down when we're arguing, when we're disagreeing, and fall into one of these four areas? Today, we're talking about defensiveness. I modeled it, I hope, pretty well off the top. Defensiveness is when I react to whatever you said or did as though it's an attack. I perceive it as an attack. I might perceive it as an ugly criticism, an unfair statement, a direct, what do you mean I didn't get cat food? I got it. You just didn't look in the cupboard. But I come back with a defensive response. None of us like to feel defensive. It feels yucky. However, sometimes it feels like we're superior and self-righteous and you deserve everything you're going to get. Other times we might fall into what's called innocent victim. You're always picking on me and stop being mean to me. Stop. I know, I'm not trying to mock any of our pain. I myself struggle with defensiveness sometimes because I'm a human being in a relationship with another human being. But I want to bring a couple of extra teachings to you today to help us understand defensiveness. There'll be some links below to some other articles talking about this incredibly important teaching. But I'm going to use my trusty clock. Now, this clock was given to me actually when I got my master's degree, when I was partway through my training for my PhD. And it's been my trusty companion in my psychotherapy office ever since. And I use it with couples to help explain how important it is to realize your partner has a different perspective from you. So here we go. If you were sitting across from me right now with your partner, and I held this up to partner A and said, partner A, what do you see? Now, hang on a second. I want you to pretend you're a Martian. You've never seen this Earth object before. What that means is you can't use the word clock, but describe it in any other words you want. Go. You might say, well, it's a small gold object. It's about the size of my hand. Looks like it's got 6 or 8 sides, and it's got some stripy lines on it and some sticky out bits that look like Roman numerals to me. And I'd say, great, perfect. You got it. You're 100% right. Then I turn it around and I show it to partner B. Same question, same setup. Partner B says, well, it's some small object. It's about, 4 inches high, 2 inches wide. Seems like it's an octagon. It's black. It seems to have a couple little circles, and it's got this sticky out handle thing. And I say, great, you're perfect, 100%. And then I say the question you may be anticipating, who's right? And they laugh and say, well, we're both right, or neither of us is right. It's a beautiful, easy, visceral reminder that what I see from my side of the clock, from my perspective, may be different from what you see from your side of the clock. When I'm defensive, from my side of the clock, you're picking on me, you're unfair, you're accusing, and I come back guns a-blazing. What can you do about it? Well, here's a couple of ideas. First of all, one of the best ways to interrupt any difficult communication is to stop talking and do something to change the state of your body. My favorite one for couples that are willing to do it is when things are getting titchy or worse, stop and have a 3-breath hug. Move up to each other, embrace deeply, breathe in together once, breathe out together once, and repeat 2 more times. This helps bring us into connection literally and psychologically and can help decrease your physiological flooding or agitation or sympathetic nervous system response. Another thing you can do is come up with a code word. I have a couple who use the word banana. I don't know why. I'm sure they have a backstory when they're getting off kilter, and banana makes them start again. I'm going to now give a bit of advice to the person being defensive. In this scenario, we'll say it's me. So you say or do or don't do whatever, and I perceive it from my side of the clock in a way that triggers me in some way. And I say, that's not true. I did get the cat food. Or, look, I was really busy. What's your problem? Or, it wasn't me. It was her or him. You blame the kid. You blame the cat. You blame the dog. What can we do when we feel defensive to respond in a more skillful way? You can stop and count to 3. I know that sounds hackneyed and predictable, but how many of you actually do it, right? When we feel defensive, we're a bit triggered. Stop and count to 3 and say, babe, I did get the cat food. I don't think maybe you saw it. It's in the cupboard. Or, babe, I didn't get the cat food. I apologize. I forgot. Or, babe, I didn't get the cat food. It's because I got a flat tire on the way home. Haven't had a chance to tell you about. It is so beautiful when we respond softly and with kindness. I like to teach people kind speech, right? Hardly a radical idea, but I use the word kind speech. It's a Buddhist term where we really look at how we say something, why we say something, is it helpful, is it skillful, and is it the right time? So speak kindly, take a breath. The two of you can have a 3-breath hug. These are ways to try to help dismantle defensiveness, which again happens because we're perceiving it as an attack. Now, I'm going to take the opposite role here and say I'm the one who's like, did you get the cat food or not? And then you respond to me defensively. And I'm like, well, you're being awful defensive. No, again, I'm playing with this, but I'm not playing with this. I have a very expressive voice, and I have to be very careful that when I ask my sweetheart something, I don't, in a way, trigger or invite defensiveness, because the way I've asked it or put it out sounds a bit accusatory, maybe a bit more critical than I'm aware of. My tone of voice may be unpleasant. I may sound impatient. We each need to own our part in this issue. Maybe it's 5% me. I asked you something pretty nicely and benignly in a nice tone of voice. Hey, baby, did you remember the cat food? But I wasn't really thinking that you had that huge proposal today. You've been quite stressed leading up to it. Maybe asking you about the cat food right now, even in a kind tone of voice, is going to be the last straw in a very stressful day. Basically, we're talking about love, aren't we? We're talking about kindness, aren't we? We're talking about feeling defensive. That can be a human response. What we do when we feel defensive is what matters. Lash out, not lash out. Let's say the horse has already left the barn. You said, did I get the cat food? I went, no, I was busy. Rah, rah, rah. Then we can repair, and begin again. I did a video and a blog, and the Gottman blog for you, we'll link to it below, on mindful apology, where I break down in a stepwise way how to do a beautiful ownership of where we went wrong, ask to be forgiven, say we're sorry, and then a vow to do better. So whether you see a gold clock with Roman numerals on it, whether you see a black thing with a sticky out handle, you're right. And you're also wrong if you believe your partner should see and experience it the same way. The important thing with defensiveness is I respond because I perceive an attack. Sometimes there was an attack, sometimes there was no attack, somewhere there was something in between. But I am 100% responsible for my response. Even if you were unkind or nasty or contemptuous toward me, not acceptable, clean that up, I still get to work on my own defensiveness. 1 breath, 1 3-breath hug, 1 moment, 1 banana at a time. I'm Dr. CHERYL Fraser. Lovely to be here with you. If you'd like to watch more of my videos, join my Love Bite list every Tuesday in your very own email inbox. You'll get either a video, a link to my podcast topic, or sometimes just a brief little written reminder of how to make love intentional and how to fall in love with your partner over and over again. 1 breath, 1 moment, 1 apology for being defensive, 1 bit of kind speech at a time.